Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael, and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named Slight King in the Relationship Advice subreddit. The post is titled, "I might not be my dad's son. My parents and my brother are making my life hell. My dad and I never had a close relationship growing up. He always preferred my older brother Junior, who is 20 years old. Junior always received preferential treatment compared to the two of us, always the golden child, and could do no wrong. I was always the scapegoat, mistreated, and forgotten between the two. Our grandfather started and ran a very successful business in the area, and before he died, left it and a substantial amount of money in a trust to be inherited by all legitimate grandchildren. Our grandfather did not like our mother much, which I will get into. Our dad has a job in the business, but no real power or authority, just job security at the company. Last weekend, my dad was digging through some old boxes and found my mom's old diaries. It turns out she had an affair over 20 years ago that ended just under 10 years ago when the affair partner died in a car crash. After much arguing and turmoil, my parents agreed to stay together, but only if Junior and I took DNA tests, and depending on the results, they would kick the bastard out. Since the agreement, we have been to the labs, my dad has gone to a lawyer to draft papers, whatever that means, and my brother's harassment has been worse than ever, entering my room with a "hey there bastard." I have asked my mom to stand up for me, but she has refused and just says I need to be strong, and that is it. We should be getting the test results back tomorrow, and my best friend's dad has agreed to take me in. I cannot take it. What should I do? 3 years later, OP provided us with an update. My parents never got along with me. They clearly favored my half-brother Junior, who is 23. My dad was especially harsh since he was not what I considered an ideal son. My grandparents started a fairly successful small HVAC business in our area, and my father has a job there but no real power, as the actual business ownership belongs to a trust. My grandfather did not trust my father with financial decisions. 3 years ago, my dad found some old diaries my mom had, in which she detailed an affair that went on until the affair partner died 12 years ago in a car wreck. They argued for days, precisely because the trust that owns the business will be going only to biological grandchildren. My grandfather hated my mom and suspected her of fooling around. My parents agreed to reconcile if Junior and I took DNA tests. Both Junior and my dad were sure I would not biologically be related and that they would get to kick the bastard out. Well, 3 years ago, we went to the lab, went to a lawyer's office, and the test came in. I was my father's son, Junior was not. What is more, the house we live in was also to go only to biological grandchildren, and my birthday was coming up. My father was subdued on the drive home, but Junior was still mouthy. My father, to his credit, tried to mend fences that night. He looked awful, he cried, and he begged for forgiveness. He asked what he could do to start making things up. I said, "Kick the bastard out." My parents begged and pleaded for me to try anything but that, to set up family counseling, get us fixed. I would not budge. I pointed out they were fully ready to kick me out that night if I was not my father's son. My father kicked Junior out that night, but he was doing it full of tears. I must confess, my relationship with my parents did not get better. My father acts like a broken man, and my mother is just silent. Honestly, they should have divorced long ago, but they do not argue anymore. I started working at the family business and going to college on the side. My parents are outright timid around me now. My father tries to spend time with me, but I brush him off. Lately, they have both asked if I am willing to have the three of us contact Junior and mend fences. I keep refusing and ask, if it was me, would you even be asking? My mentor at my grandfather's business knows the situation and has asked me if I am doing this because I want to hurt them or if I want to avoid being hurt. Boom Bang Kurzblatt said, "I wonder who the grandfather thought the biological grandchild was, or if his will was just pure spite toward the mother." To this drop, 582 said, "Maybe just wording out of spite without any thought that there may be illegitimate children." Then to this monk, RenV2 said, "My wife's grandparents have a similar clause in their will specifically to cut out one of my wife's uncles. Their grandparents never liked him, never liked that he married their daughter, and wanted to make sure he did not get a penny from them. That uncle died of cancer before either grandparent died. They still have not updated that clause in the will. That is how much they hated him." He was my wife's favorite uncle too. This next story was made by a throwaway account in the relationship subreddit. The post is titled, "Is it worth to try to work things out with my boyfriend? He's jealous of my stepbrother. My boyfriend, who is 19, and I, also 19, have been dating for just over a year. We are both in university and currently taking online classes due to the lockdown. When they announced the transition to online classes, I decided to move back to my mom's, which is about an hour and a half away. My town is a bit of a student town. There are not many grocery delivery services, and I do not drive. I did not want to rely on the reduced bus service. My boyfriend tried to convince me to move in with him, but I refused because I did not like the idea of being an illegal tenant in a house with 4 guys and 1 bathroom. My boyfriend was not happy with this. I have been back for 3 weeks and things have been tense, especially surrounding my stepbrother who is 22. My mom remarried when I was 15 and moved her new husband and his son in. I have known my stepbrother for 5 years and our relationship was always friendly but distant. He has lived at home the entire time and worked as a bartender prior to the quarantine. Ever since I moved back, my boyfriend has been on my case about spending too much time with my stepbrother. He gets really upset because we drive around aimlessly every day. I am on a learner's permit and my stepbrother is helping me practice while the streets are empty, and the fact that we hang out and watch stuff together. The weather was nice this week and my stepbrother and I decided to eat our lunches in the backyard, picnic style. My boyfriend freaked out when he realized and accused me of going on quarantine dates behind his back. I did not even tell him this. I guess he stalked my stepbrother's Instagram story. It was not a date. We are going into week 5 of quarantine, bored out of our minds and doing anything possible for a slight change of pace. My boyfriend called me yesterday and told me that he was unhappy, felt disrespected, and that I needed to make a change to keep the relationship. He told me that my stepbrother and I are not like regular siblings. We did not grow up together, so he is afraid things will escalate between us. I think this is gross. My stepbrother is not someone I would ever consider dating, and I'm certain he feels the same. My boyfriend told me that I would need to stop hanging out with my stepbrother and spend more time FaceTiming and texting. Currently, we FaceTime every day for a minimum of 1 hour, but he said his ideal would be 3 to 4 hours. I think this is crazy and part of me wants to tell him to shove it, but we had a great relationship before this and another part of me wants to fight and save it. I know my boyfriend and I'm fairly sure he is acting like this because he is still upset that I did not move in with him, but it is going on week 4 and I am not sure how much more I can handle. What should I do? Update. After I posted, I took some time to read the comments and form a plan. I texted my boyfriend telling him essentially that I needed a bit of space to take a breather and reevaluate. I made it clear that I did not want to break up, but felt like I was always being monitored and I wanted to make a game plan to have healthy communication through this pandemic. He called me very upset and accused me of choosing my stepbrother over him. I told him that it was not about my stepbrother. It is not like I chose him. He is literally just someone I get along with and can hang out with during the pandemic. I explained that it was not like I was spending every waking moment with him. I do my homework in the morning, we hang out in the afternoon, and my evening time is divided between the 4 of us: my mom, stepdad, stepbrother, and FaceTiming my boyfriend. My boyfriend then accused me of doing special boyfriend activities with my stepbrother. He told me that it was always his dream to teach me to drive. Also, apparently, me teaching my stepbrother how to bake bread, which is stupid because I was going to make the bread to begin with and my stepbrother helped by moving the heavy mixer, eating half the almond slices, and taking pictures for Instagram. He also screamed at me for not moving in, saying how all this would have been prevented if we were living together. I told him that I have no interest in living somewhere where I am not allowed to be. I cannot afford a fine from bylaw, and if I were to get kicked out, it would be more difficult to find my way home since I do not drive. In the end, I told my boyfriend that I would not give up my relationship with my stepbrother, who is part of my family and a genuinely nice guy, to ease my boyfriend's insecurities and cater to his demands. I told him that I needed time to cool down and that I would talk to him in a few days. That was all on Friday, and today I reached out to see how he was. He was still angry and accusatory, so I basically told him that this was not working and that I wanted to break up. I did it over text and then blocked him, which probably made makes me an asshole, but I literally could not deal with any more of him yelling at me and insulting my family. Anyway, thanks to everyone who commented. I am really sad this is the outcome, and I have been crying a lot, but I am also kind of relieved. Step Right Up March Push said, "It is so hard to read these posts as a 43-year-old woman because to me, it is so blatantly obvious that this guy is a controlling, abusive asshole, but you just cannot see things that clearly when you are young." Dryad Duineth said, "At first I did think this was one more person who thinks the pizza guy delivers more than pizza, but this actually reads like pretty standard controlling, isolating abuser behavior in my opinion." Visual Composer said, "He was going to teach her to drive and he cannot drive himself. Say that out loud and hear how crazy that sounds. She really dodged a bullet." This final post was made in the relationship advice subreddit by a user named TM16. The post is titled, "My boyfriend blacked out and cheated on me. I don't know what to do. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years now. We have always communicated and trusted each other and thought we were endgame. Our arguments are short and usually involve us explaining why we are upset about something and working to address it together. He has had problems with drinking and has done a lot of dumb things, not to hurt me but around his friends, when he has blacked out before, and they usually just find it funny. Usually, when he drinks, he does not have a limit to know when to stop himself. I used to be fine with it because he was not aggressive or mean to me, but I noticed it was getting worse. Currently, I am across the country and we have not seen each other in 4 months because of COVID. My boyfriend called me sobbing and said that he needed to tell me that last month he got extremely drunk and does not remember anything that happened except the very start, but thinks he slept with a girl he knew in high school when they were catching up. He said he wanted to tell me in person, but did not want to spring it on me right when I get back. He says he does not know why he did it. He was just out of control drunk and admitted he has an issue with drinking. I am still processing how to even feel and I cannot figure out what to do. I respect the fact that he told me, even though I would have never found out, and he is getting tested. If we were to stay together, I would want him to stop drinking completely, but is that enough? Can a relationship work after he does something like this? Can trust be rebuilt? Please give advice. I am so confused and hurt, and aside from this, our relationship has been incredible and I thought he was the one." Update. It has been a really long time since this post and I have never given an update. I figured I would post in case anyone was ever in a situation like this and wanted to know how it turned out. We are now 4 years past this incident and have worked through it together. So what happened after this post? He owned up to his mistake. Without me telling him what I wanted him to do, he looked up online what he could do to build back trust. He offered to stop drinking and found a therapist for himself who specialized in alcohol addiction and relationships. He also suggested couples counseling and asked if I would be willing to go with him, but said he would fully cover the costs of the therapy. In the original post, many asked if it was consensual. The answer is mixed territory. He had a short memory of being willingly involved with her. As I requested, he called the girl to find out what actually happened. She was more sober than him that night, and she said that they could not have sex because of whiskey dick, and then out of nowhere, he got up and ran out of the room. She got up to follow him and found him knocked out in bed. Once she gave him details, he told her their friendship was over and that he was deleting her number from everywhere to focus on fixing his relationship with me and building trust back. He still does not know if what she told him is fully true or not, and he gets upset and questions it a lot, saying he wants me to know the complete truth for us to heal, but cannot tell what is real and what is not. His therapist told him that the mind can play tricks when trying to remember pieces of a blackout. Our couples therapist has been incredible. She has helped strengthen our relationship and took no bullshitting. We built back trust by discussing the hurt and things we could do to feel more comfortable when he goes out with friends. We discussed the idea of requests instead of rules, as purely controlling someone else can turn into resentment. Phones are not off limits. We have each other's passwords. At the start of finding out, we would go through text and direct messages together at my request, and we still do not hide incoming messages from each other before. It has been 4 years since this, and while it is a scar in the relationship, I see him as a man always willing to put in the work in our relationship and in life to make things right. He knew that I would never have found out if he did not tell me, but he knew I deserved the truth. If I were to bring the issue up today, he would still acknowledge the pain he caused, apologize for it, and give reassurance to me in whatever way I requested, whether it is looking at his phone or talking through anything that is a trigger for me, or setting up a call with our therapist. In some ways, this issue forced us both to mature to make the relationship work. Previously in the relationship, we loved to go out and drink excessively. At fraternity parties, I would also seek out as much alcohol as I could to numb myself, and would yell at him at 3 a.m. in an empty fraternity basement when he was tired and wanted to go to sleep because I wanted to keep partying. After this incident happened, we realized that we were no longer college kids who partied and fought when drunk. And if we wanted to progress our relationship in a healthy way, we both needed to learn how. Counseling helped us become even stronger as a unit. Humans are far from perfect. They make mistakes. But humans are also capable of growing and changing when they are fully willing to put in the work. If you are in this situation, the most important thing is how the person owns up to their mistakes and makes active changes to do better. Reasonable Ad said the man blacked out, was physically unable to perform, ran from the room, and passed out. He was 1000% assaulted. There is no world where this was affirmative consent. To this unhappy medium said, yeah, I also get the vibe that the OP sees it that way, despite what he says, which probably plays a role in why she forgave him. Then AMW said, honestly, that is how I felt when she described what happened. I think societal norms make it so that when men are sexually assaulted, they do not know how to process it in a healthy way. Hell, most of the men that I know lost their virginity while they were underage to grown adults. And most do not even process the fact that it is predatory behavior until they have their own kids. Not Straight said, some Reddit users need to divorce themselves from being so damn harsh with their black and white view on life. There are so many gray areas that we need to think about as well. Life is difficult and we have choices and options, but we still need to realize that actions have consequences. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.